Welcome to a special episode here at Blue Duck Fantasy Football. Today, Matt and I will discuss our top 5 running backs for the rest of the season, PPR. If this is your first time watching, make sure you subscribe. We do 2 podcasts a week, as well as a different fantasy football episode every day of the week. So here are the rules. These are the 5 backs that are going to score the most points rest of the season. Not per week, it's total. So if a player has a bye, that hurts their value. If a player is injured, that hurts their value. So, Matt, who is your number 1 running back rest of the season and why?
I am still going to go with the guy I had at the beginning of the year, which is Saquon Barkley. He hasn't had his bye yet. He's been injured, but that should have kept him fresh towards the stretch run here. He's got a great playoff schedule coming up. I like it here. There's some other guys that are definitely worthy of this spot too, but Saquon's still number 1 for me.
All right, he's on my top 5. Who's your number 2?
Number 2, I will go with Christian McCaffrey. Through the bye, by far going to have the most catches out of these running backs that are left here. And the whole offense runs through him, so that's the justification. No, don't have to justify Christian McCaffrey at all, do we?
Nope. Number 3?
Ezekiel Elliott is my number 3. Yeah. Through the bye, it's going to be definitely help him out. Again, same thing for McCaffrey. That whole offense runs through him. He's got a decent playoff schedule coming as well.
Yeah, not much to say about him. The only thing I'll note here is if you have Ezekiel Elliott on your team, you are now through the bye. You should grab Tony Pollard because you won't need anybody to back him up for a bye week. Tony Pollard is that insurance policy to make sure that your team doesn't become nothing when he gets injured or if he gets injured.
Okay, fair enough.
Hopefully he doesn't.
Yeah.
Number 4.
A guy that scares me to death for injury, Dalvin Cook. We've talked about this a lot. He's likely going to get injured at some point. Kind of similar to Tony Pollard, but you should already have Madison on your team.
But not through the byes, Cook.
No, but you need to have his cuff if you're having Dalvin Cook. And Madison's really good. He's been playing really well when he's been called upon in that offense. Again, an okay playoff matchup for him. And you're never going to bench someone like Dalvin Cook even in a tough playoff match.
Actually has a great playoff matchup. Yeah. Detroit at the Chargers and then Green Bay. That's one of the best playoff matchups you're going to find.
Yeah.
I think the Patriots are the only one who have a better matchup right now by 1 point, and it's not even comparable, Sony Michel to Dalvin Cook. Who is your number 5 running back rest of the season?
Guy on bye this week, Alvin Kamara.
Okay.
I think that Drew Brees coming back is only going to help him. He should be the guy that you saw last year for him most weeks. I think that his points will exceed the rest of the guys that have. There's a lot of good backs here that haven't had their bye yet, and a couple of good ones that have, so that it is a little bit more difficult, but Alvin Kamara is the guy I'd have most out of these guys here.
Okay, I will tell you right now, he is not on my top 5. The reason for that is this team is doing really well. Mm-hmm. The team did really well in his absence with Latavius Murray. Mm-hmm. I think they look to keep him as fresh as possible for the playoffs, and as long as Latavius Murray is running the way that he has been, I see this becoming a little bit less Kamara-focused and a little bit more timeshare-focused. Not somebody I'm going to sit at any point, but he's not somebody who's going to make my top 5 list just because I think the volume will be lessened in order to keep him as fresh as possible.
They were doing pretty well with Bridgewater. Should they keep him in there?
No.
Okay.
But that's a different story. They weren't putting up the yards that they used to. But Murray was. When Murray played, Murray was 100 yards both games, touchdowns. So I'm saying they're looking at him and saying, why not use him? Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to cut into him a bit, so he doesn't make my top 5 list.
No, but look at Mark Ingram last year, right? Like Kamara still did it, and Ingram was there.
Oh, he's not going to be bad. He's just not good enough to be my top 5.
Yeah.
Number 1 of the real list, Christian McCaffrey. I mean, he's the best. There's nothing else to say about him. Number 2, Zeke. Both my top 2 guys are through the bye, so that's an extra game worth of points for these guys who put up, a lot of points in PPR. I did switch my list around because we did mention it was going to be PPR. So number 3 is Mr. Saquon Barkley, probably the best running back in the game. He does have the bye, so that's why he's not higher. He would be ahead of Zeke if he had his bye, but I still don't think I could put him ahead of McCaffrey. Number 4, Dalvin Cook, great playoff schedule. Still has his bye, though, which is why he's not higher on this list. Because I could see if both Cook and Zeke had their buys, that would be a tough one to pick between 3 and 4 there. Although Zeke is probably a little bit better PPR. Number 5, you ready for the shocker?
Yep.
Josh Jacobs.
Oh, wow. I did not think it was going to be
Josh Jacobs has a pretty good schedule to close out the stretch. He has the Chargers in Week 10. Who are they playing this week? It's in Detroit.
Detroit, yeah, sorry.
Another good matchup. Chargers, then the Bengals. At the Jets, ranked 20th. Kansas City, ranked 29th. Then Tennessee, Jacksonville, and at the Chargers again. You know how I feel about running backs against the Chargers. Might as well be Thursday night for them. And honorable mention to James Conner. He's going to miss the game, though, and that's why I didn't have him that high. He probably would have made this list if he was healthy. Are they through the bye, though? I think
Steelers, yeah.
Yeah, so Steelers were through the bye. He would be taking Josh Jacobs' spots if he was playing this week. Had a great game against Miami, but just can't seem to stay healthy.
I thought you were going Fournette there.
No, he's got a tough schedule.
Yeah.
Not through the bye yet, unless I'm mistaken.
No, they're not.
No, he's not through the bye. The bye played a big factor to me in some of these players. Obviously, you can't ignore the top 4 elite talent. I think we had the same top 4. Your 5 was Kamara.
Yeah.
I explained why I didn't care for him as much. Josh Jacobs, just a great schedule. I like him. No Aaron Jones.
No, but he's just outside.
Your honorable mention, Aaron Jones.
Well, there's Chubb, Carson. Like Chubb is through the bye, so that's good. But Kareem Hunt factor.
Not through the Kareem Hunt factor, yeah.
Carson's got a good schedule there too. Melvin Gordon could eventually be Melvin Gordon. There's a lot of guys that could jump in this top 5.
Yep,
for certain.
I think that top 4 is kind of set though.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Until Dalvin Cook gets hurt.
hurt, and then it's the top 3 that are set. Anyways, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell, as we'll be doing the same thing for wide receivers, quarterbacks, and tight ends at some point, and you don't want to miss that. Matt, anything to add?
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hopefully you're doing both.
That's it.